Now what I want to do is just give you a little bit of a Windows nerd out. And the reason I'm doing this is it's kind of useful for you to actually know how to make Windows work for you. There's a few nice little tricks. If you press the Windows key and hit the letter E for Explorer, it will bring up Windows Explorer. And you do Alt F4 to close it down. So that's Windows key and the letter E for Windows Explorer. If you don't want to close it, but you want to get to the desktop, you can do Windows key and D for desktop. Now, if you want to open a file and you know exactly what type of program it is, so let's say I want to open Excel 2010. I'm just going to hit the Windows key once, and then I'm just going to start typing Microsoft. And as soon as I do that, it will search for all the items that have Microsoft in. And I'm going to do Excel 2010, and I'll hit enter. And that's a quick way of opening a document. Other times, it's quite nice to actually have these documents on this bottom bar here. So I want to get my items on this bottom bar here, and I can take the Windows key, hold down the Control key, click and drag this down to the taskbar, and it asks, do you want to pin it on? And I'm just going to click yes there. Hit escape. Now if I want to activate that, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 icons long. So I just hit the Windows key and the number 5, and it will open Outlook. And that's a really quick way of opening documents. So I'll just do Alt F4 to close that, and I'm going to exit without sending. So let me just repeat that. If I go to the Windows key, and let's say I want to put the Word icon there, just hold down Control, click, and then drag and pin it to the taskbar. So if you want to rearrange the taskbar, just use the mouse to click and then drag to the left, and you may want to have the most well-used items on the far left of the taskbar. I generally won't want to have this icon, the Windows Explorer, so I'm just going to right click and I'm going to unpin this program from the taskbar, just because I can do Windows E. It's much easier to do that. Now you can tab through open programs. So if I open Word, for example, which is Windows 2 now, so I've got Word open, and I can Alt tab and it will flip me through the different programs that I have open. Now you may find it nicer if you use, rather than Alt tab, use the Windows key and tab. And here you can actually see in a little bit more detail what's going on. So sometimes I find the Windows tab is kind of cool because it shows you much more visually what's going on in the screen. So if we come back to our main desktop, we'll just do Windows D to the desktop, and it brings us back to where we were. So that's a nice way of working using Windows shortcuts. The Windows key and letter D is desktop. The Windows key letter E is Explorer. Windows tab will flip through, and if you want to open a program and you can remember its name, you just hit the Windows key and just start typing. So the magnifier is something I often want to open, and I can just type magnifier, but it's quite difficult to find because it's in the accessories and it's a subfolder. And you can just hit escape to get rid of that. I hope some of these shortcuts have made you more efficient, because the idea of these lectures is to make you better at your day-to-day work.